Hi everyone, it's Ginny, and this time I want to show you something I've been doing that was inspired by Josie Gito, and that's making some, what does she call, oh I'm sorry I forgot, homemade fabric ribbon, that's it. I got it. So basically she showed in a couple of videos, and I'll put links to them so you can go check them out because they're really good, how she painted some fabric and then cut them into ribbons, so she had her own ribbons. So I've been playing around with that over a long period of time, just a little bit here and there each day, and I've come up with some pieces that I want to show you, and before I cut them into ribbon. So here's one of them. I have just got a bit of, I don't even know what this material's called, but it frays a lot, which is what I was worried about, but hopefully it'll be alright if I glue it onto things, or if I put some glue along the edges it might hold it together. So here I've stenciled with acrylic paint, and I've used dimensional paints, which are not meant for fabric, but they work perfectly on the fabric anyway, and they don't come off. It's really worked really well. The only thing, because you can rub them and squash them and they're fine, but the only thing I found is if you put them together for a long time they will stick, so you need to be careful of that. But apart from that, it's good. So that's one of them. Here's another one, and this was just a odd bit of silk that I had, natural silk material I think it is. I just had this one piece, so, and it was folded with a crease in it, and I didn't iron it, so anyway, I've done the same thing there. I've done stenciling and stamping with ink, and that's about it really, and with just those colours I think they look really pretty. I really like this. It's nice material to work with. So there's that one. Here's one as an example. They stick together. So I guess if I was to fold the ribbon, that's going to happen, so be careful of that. But there's another one I just did. I can see a bit of glare on there, so I'll hold it this way. Just circles. I dipped a pen cap, I think, in different acrylic inks, and then I used the dimensional paints again to make little flowers. And this is on calico, or I think you call this muslin in America. That's really good to work with. It holds the paints really well. Another one, I only got a small piece of this, so I've already cut some off and used it, and I'll show you what I've used it for. This one I just did black and white on the red. It's just part of a stencil, and there's this one's a wheat stencil. It's really nice, just with acrylic paint. And this one is a cheesecloth type material. And again, just with acrylic paint. I didn't use any dimensionals on that one, just stencils and just a few dots of black in between. And there's some white on there as well, but it didn't show up that well. I think it tended to soak through, yeah. That's that one. This one I really like. I did this in metallic acrylic paint, and on the purple is really shimmery. That's Lumiere paint, which I think is made with I can't remember what it's called. You know those powders? Oh, mica powder, that's it. Started to explain and I remembered it. So that's that one. I've just used gold acrylic, white acrylic, gold acrylic, I think that was a copper, and the Lumiere purple. Just on the black cotton, pure cotton material. And this one's another cotton, but it's a pale blue. And see, it's sticking again, but they're not too hard to pull apart. And it doesn't, even though they stick, it doesn't wreck the, it doesn't pull it off or ruin the shape of it or anything. So that's another one I've done with a stencil. I got this from Melinda from Scrapbooking and Craft. Dimensional paints. On this one I've used a bit of glitter as well. Oh, and I forgot to mention I used glitter on this one too. There's a glitter glue. I don't know if you can even pick that up on the camera. But I put glitter all on the flowers and that. That's a good one. Because I didn't have the beautiful paints that Josie has, I just went with whatever I've got, and it worked out okay. Because I don't have the fabric paints. There's another one on that calico with yeah, acrylic paint. This one's a metallic one, and a bit of the dimensional. So it's that one. I just did parts of stencil rather than the whole thing. And this one I did again with metallic paints on the black cotton, and that's really beautiful and shimmery. Again, I used another one that has mica powder in it, and this I just used a broken piece of credit card and I dipped it in the paint and dabbed it on there, and that's how it came out. I really like that. I think it looks really effective, the metallics on the black. It's a shame I don't have very much of that black cotton, or I would have done a lot larger piece. And the last one I did was Josie did the basic ones, and then she did a second video of shabby chic, so I had a go at that as well. And so this is my sort of shabby chic. I use pinks and blues laces on, and they've stayed on really well. And then I stamped and stenciled, and with some of the stamps I used I coloured in parts of them, so I put the blue on the bird and the gold on the bees and I put that glitter glue on their wings. I like this, it's pretty, and I just used it on the calico because I had most of that material. So that's all my different fabrics that I've done. They're really fun to do, and then trying to come up with ideas on how to use them. I'll show you what I have done. I made with this one here, I made a tag. I stenciled in the background just black and white, and then I got thin strips of the fabric and glued them on so they're up there, and then they go off like that. And this bird I cut out of, oh now I can't remember what it was called. It's a fabric that Nina Ribena gave me. I can't remember, sorry, but it's really textural, it's beautiful stuff. So I've got the birds hanging onto some red, black and white beads, and I put some sequins on there as well in black, white and red, and here as well to match. And I did the ribbon on the top, and then I did the reverse side as well. So on this side I've used this fabric and I did the same stencil on the back, but I went around the edges with gold pen and a gold marker, and get out of the way. Ooh, bandit's shaking. Oops, I better go see what's up. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, he wanted to go out and he kind of scratched hard at the door. So, yeah, I was just saying, I put the little birds here and just drew little wings on them and painted their belly. So I put the strips of fabric like this and some sequins and just two little beads dangling down, because that's how I held these ribbon together, is with that bit of string. So yeah, that's a tag I made. I also, oops, I haven't finished these yet, but I'll show you when I do. But I had some little scraps left over, so I made some scrap monsters, some fabric scrap monsters, or I've part way through making them, just to use up all those tiny little bits. So I'll be doing a few of those. And I got inspiration from Josie again. She did a box, and I just happened to have quite a few boxes, so I decided to do one as well. So I did it with this fabric, and I decorated the top, the lid, with strips, and also with this one. And then I cut a few circles and put them in the corners and put a few beads in there. And I put these little, I don't even know what they are, they're little pieces of shiny plastic. They look a bit like mirrors, I suppose. They sparkle in the light. So put that round there, and I also put some trim or braid or whatever it's called, and then I got thin strip of the purple of this one and put that there, and then I had these little shiny suns with happy faces on them, and I had gold and green, so I put them on there, and I stenciled on the outside of the box with the metallic purple, and on the inside I painted the green and lined it with some purple paper. And it was originally a silver box. I left that to show you how it was originally. So yeah, that's what I did with my box. Josie's, of course, is a lot more beautiful than mine, so I definitely recommend going and checking hers out if you haven't seen it already. And the other thing I did was I got inspired from Wendy Mason, who recently made some autumn leaves for the hashtag Love Autumn Art series, and she did it with some scrap papers, and she made a mobile and hung them, and they look really beautiful. So I got the leaf idea from her, and I decided to do them with the fabric. So I cut out paper shapes of just odd leaves and then I glued the strips of fabric, all different coloured fabrics across, and then I stitched beads onto them, sort of in the leaf shape of the veins. So they took ages to make, but were a lot of fun. And I've done both sides of them, and so on the one side you've just got random beads because they're holding these in place, but I still think it looks really nice and it feels nice too. It's got a nice texture. So that's that one. My husband reckoned that looks more like a Christmas tree bauble which I suppose you could use them as that too. So there's another one. I don't know if you can see them very closely. I did them in all different coloured seed beads, but basically the same fabrics. I just mixed them up a little bit differently. This one with blue beads. Yeah, and I just glued the fabric onto the paper with some PVA glue, which worked really well. Took a while to dry, but not too long. So they're sort of flexible, but they're sturdy with the paper in between them, so they're not too floppy. Heaps of fun to do, but yeah, very time consuming, but you know me, I like doing fiddly things that take a long time. I've been wanting to show you these for ages, but I wanted to get them finished so I had something to show you as well. That one I used silver sort of bauble type beads, not specifically seed beads, but it worked. It was a funny shaped leaf. So that's what I've done with all these beautiful fabrics that, thanks to Josie, I otherwise wouldn't have had any idea how to do. So thank you very much, Josie and Wendy, for the inspiration, and that's it. So I hope if you guys might want to have a go at doing these fabrics, definitely go check out Josie's videos because they're great, and she gives you a lot of ideas too about what she did with hers as well. So that's it. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye. See you next time.